Hi, this is Scott. This is a bonus live broadcast because I have a event tonight or at 5 p.m. here Central Time in Dallas at Southern Methodist University. It's a debate, and it's on the topic: should companies take political stance? So, because I'm going to be doing this debate tonight, I thought I would talk about it with you guys too, since probably it's mostly just going to be, you know, 100 students at SMU who are lured in by the free Chick-fil-A who are going to show up to this debate. But it's an important topic, certainly timely. Debate is not, I was captain of the debate team in high school. Debate, was very different then, right? I mean, you look up all these little facts and details, and you'd carefully formulate the structure of your argument. And that was debate when I was in high school. These days, when you think about quote unquote debate, it's mostly people yelling at each other and using, you know, techniques that are really, dishonest, like using straw men and making ad hominem arguments and not really focusing on the substance of the issue. It's really more to kind of appeal to the emotions and the predispositions of the people on your side already. That's certainly how it works on cable news. And so when I got contacted to do this debate, I was a little wary because that's not me. I very much am someone who I certainly have political opinions, and I certainly have strong political opinions about a lot of things. But when it comes to people and it comes to having conversations about things, I really try to um, remove that from the equation to be able to focus on the topic, because there's two big political parties, right? And they line up very strongly on like a million different issues. But what's the likelihood that someone actually, if they think it through, is lockstep with one party or another on all these different topics? I just don't think that's just not how people are. We're all different. And even if we're looking at news sources that, only show one perspective or seem to be in lockstep with a certain political point of view, as you get to know someone, I've found, you can, and if you kind of remove the hot button aspects of the topic, you can find common ground in a way that you might not think you could, especially these days. In any case, that's the approach I'm taking in this conversation tonight, and I'll let you know how it goes. I'll probably be writing about it at trustsignals.com on the blog afterwards. But in any case, so should companies take political stance? That's the topic. My thought is that the answer, like a lot of things, is it depends, right? Certainly, if Nike um, decides to choose Colin Kaepernick as a spokesperson, that can be viewed as taking a political stand. And I think Nike did its research. And they knew that for its customer base, aligning with Colin Kaepernick and everything he represented in terms of being a rebel and someone who took chances and a lot of other things that are associated with the Nike brand. The research showed it made sense and would help the business. And while it cost Nike, they were when this happened a couple of years ago. There are people posting videos on social media of burning their Nikes and things. Well, the reality is this helped Nike. They made more money. They could track significant jumps in revenue to the brand association with Colin Kaepernick. It aligned with the values of the majority of their customers. And that's a decision that Nike made. Is it a political stand? Yes, you can certainly argue that. And I think it was the right decision for Nike. Would aligning with Colin Kaepernick be the right decision for Hobby Lobby or Chick-fil-A? Probably not. Those are different brands with different customer bases. Stepping back a little, in terms of what we as an agency advise our clients, and my agency is called Idea Grove. We mostly work with technology clients. We believe that every brand should have a purpose beyond buying and selling its product. It should have a reason it exists. So this can involve larger social involvement and showing a awareness and interest and passion for making the world a better place in a specific way. I'll give you an example of how it works. Lego is a very successful company, about $7 billion in revenue, about $1.5 billion in profits annually. They are generally rated as the or one of the brands with the best reputation in the world, that has the most goodwill among the most people. They have a brand purpose or social purpose that extends beyond we sell little plastic bricks to kids. Their purpose is to inspire the future builders of tomorrow. Everything they do is designed to help kids learn and grow and become better prepared for a better future. That's how they position their product, but then they extend what they do and why beyond the product to social initiatives. This includes sustainability. This includes DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. And this includes things like helping to keep the online environment safe from predators of children. Now, in the past, a brand might have done all these things, and they would be called CSR, or corporate social responsibility initiatives. Kind of like, we sell widgets during the week, but on the weekend we build houses for Habitat for Humanity. Corporate social responsibility. Those kind of community activities have been around a long time. What we're talking about now is something that's more integrated, where it's all one narrative and one overarching objective of the organization. So when Lego thinks and talks about sustainability, they talk about helping to create a world that will be there for the future builders of tomorrow. They talk about DEI in the context of the enrichment and learning opportunities that come from diverse groups of people working together to create a better future for our children. They talk about how it's so important for children to learn and online, and they have to be protected from predators and other negative things that could prevent their nurturing to become the future builders of tomorrow. So all of these things could be seen as very separate things, but they're all pulled into a narrative that is an authentic brand narrative for Lego. I think if you work at Lego, if you're a customer, there's a genuineness to this larger sense of what the brand is and what it's about. And so when we talk about should companies take political stands, I think the first thing a brand has to do is to become more three-dimensional and more fully human. And one way to do that is to adopt this larger sense of what it's about that extends beyond selling something to being something. And that means having values. It means embracing the associated social issues that extend naturally from those values. And sometimes those social causes and issues that a brand naturally gets involved with based on its values, who its customers and audiences are, and what they align with. Sometimes that naturally extends into the political realm. For other brands, it doesn't. The best thing to do is to use research to understand who your customers are. So if you take a political stand or a strong social stance on something, that it's not just because that's how the CEO felt that day. It's because you're wanting to fully align with your customers and communities that you're trying to reach and connect with to form a stronger bond. That's what brands should be doing. Brands are not people. If a CEO wants to contribute to a politician, they can go do that. But when you talk about a brand is an artificial entity. It's been created by people, and people determine what that brand stands for. But what's happened particularly since the election of Donald Trump, but over the last 20 years, is people expect more from their brands in terms of getting involved in the issues of the day. So a recent survey called Future of Retail, I believe, showed that about 40% of people factored in a brand's values, social involvement, political involvement in making their purchase decisions. 40%. Among younger people, 18 to 35, it's almost 70%. And so this is certainly something that is true of younger people. The expectation that a brand choice extends beyond the features and benefits of the product to, does this brand represent who I am and what I stand for? And that's true when you're hiring employees as a brand too. People never, I think, really wanted to go work somewhere just for a paycheck. But today, they don't want to work somewhere just for a paycheck and just where they say, yes, I sell widgets, that's what I do. They want to come to a place where they feel like there are values and a purpose that's larger and they're part of. It's like the old story about the janitor at NASA who was asked what his job was. And rather than saying, I sweep the floor, he said, I'm putting a man on the moon, because he felt so much part of this larger mission. That's what company people are seeking: employees, customers, communities, all the constituencies that brands interact with and serve. They're looking for that. So the answer for politics specifically is, because it's a hot topic and politics is so divisive today, I tend to advise clients to stay out of politics if they don't need to or feel compelled to get into politics, because you can often make more positive change by not crossing over. For example, you can have make a lot of progress in the area of sustainability without making it all about climate change, which has become a hot button issue. You can make a lot of progress in DEI without getting directly tied into discussions about Black Lives Matter, critical race theory, and these kind of hot button topics that have become wedge issues, political footballs. Now, if your base and your purpose is completely tied to being on one side or the other of these kind of political wedge issues, yes, that's a decision you can make based on research. And it should be based on research because, again, you're a brand. You are not a person. Brands should represent their buyers, and their other stakeholders. Okay, but don't just do it because again the CEO wants to. We had a client that about a year ago who wanted to only be in certain media outlets because politically, his point of view was that they were the only ones that actually told the truth. And we explained to him that, other people don't believe that way. And your product is bought by a wide range, or the market for your product is a wide range of people, some of whom are going to watch these outlets and some of which are going to watch these outlets. And it may be true that when it comes particularly to political issues, the people watching this don't agree with what's on this channel and vice versa, but what you're selling will provide value to all of them. So why create a wedge that hurts your brand just because of your personal opinion? But if your brand is, the nature of your brand, tied to a cause that's naturally tied to a political issue, then it can make sense. I guess that's really all I had to say, but and I think that a good way of maybe closing this LinkedIn Live is to think of the contrast between Michael Jordan in the 90s. I'm a big NBA fan. Michael Jordan in the 90s and LeBron James today. Michael Jordan, famously, when he was asked to endorse the Democrat Harvey Gantt, who was running against Jesse Helms in Michael Jordan's native North Carolina, decided not to do it. He didn't really know Harvey Gantt and just didn't prioritize getting involved. But when asked about it, and Jesse Helms ended up winning that race, he said, Michael Jordan said, Republicans buy sneakers too. He, from a business standpoint, knows that he had no reason in his mind to alienate one political side over another in terms of his personal brand. Today, that was 25 years ago or more. Today, someone like LeBron James owns his political viewpoints, is very active in promoting them, is not shy about it. And in today's political environment, so dominated by social media, that has helped to strengthen his brand. If someone like LeBron James chose not to speak on the issues of the day, it would actually hurt his brand because there's such an expectation, particularly among younger people, that people, to be authentic, will share how they feel about things and not hold back for political reasons, for reasons of thinking about business over being real. So that's where we are today. And so it can certainly be a minefield, and brands have to tread carefully, but it's also a minefield for brands who say, I'm not going to get involved. To stay in the world of sports, the owner of the New York Knicks had decided he was not going to make a statement after the killing of George Floyd in support of Black Lives Matter. And he basically told his employees, hey, I'm not an expert on this. Why should I say anything about this? And kind of dismissed the call from his team, the Knicks and others to make a statement. It ended up hurting his brand, his reputation. He ultimately did make a statement, but at that point, kind of too little, too late, because it didn't feel like his heart was in it. Brands that shy away from issues that their customers and constituencies believe they need to make a stand on can be punished for sitting on the sidelines. That's why it's so important to do your research, and so important to really think about who you need to connect with as a brand, who you need to earn the trust of, and when you do that, you can feel more secure in your decisions about these sensitive topics. So anyway, I hope this is helpful. I'm kind of working through thoughts I'll have for the debate later. So this has been helpful to me as well. Feel free to shoot me questions if you have any, and thanks very much.